for the Minister of Employment to introduce us to other Randy, the one who was cashing checks from a company that was lobbying the government, winning contracts, and using the minister's name to do it. That's not allowed. It's illegal. The text messages reveal that someone named Randy at the minister's company was part of a $500,000 fraud. So will the employment minister finally get up on his feet and tell everyone the super secret identity of the other Randy?
The Honourable Minister for Employment and Workforce Development.
Mr. Speaker, I am all too happy to set the record straight. I have had no role in this company since being elected in 2021. Regarding the day in question, I have shared my phone records to the committee and with the Commissioner, which confirms that I am not the person in this story. Mr. Speaker, I have said it, the companies have said it, and now I've proved it. I was not involved. Mr. Speaker, let's get back to working for Canadians and focusing on the real issues.
The Honourable Member from Thornhill.
The minister hasn't proved a single thing. We're looking for who he called the other Randy. I'm pretty confident that we don't actually have to look very far because the other Randy might be right here. The one who broke the conflict of interest law, the one who broke the Lobbying Act, and who broke the criminal code. So will the employment minister from Edmonton let us know if Randy is in the room?
A grateful nation, I say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for their courage, their sacrifice, and their results on this day 80 years ago that changed the course of history. We will remember them.
The Honourable Member from Saskatoon University.
It's hard for Canadians to keep track of all the Liberal scandals, and every week they add new ones. This is a scandal that would define any other government in the history of Canada. I'm talking about the mysterious Randy, who they claim is not the same person as the Minister of Employment and the former Associate Minister of Finance. These aren't the droids you're looking for. But this is the Randy they are watching and looking for. The minister holds 50% share in a global health imports and wants us to believe that this is the Randy was just some guy who nobody knows the last name of and who just happens to have some big ideas about the company that everyone took seriously. Who's Randy? Where's Randy? Who got rich and why? Canadians deserve to know. It's time to give up on the cover-up.
Here, here.
Governments from countries that are hostile to Canada, who actively try to harm our citizens and our country, interfered with the most fundamental aspect of our society, our democracy. An intelligence report claims that there are members of this House whose loyalty is not solely to the people of Canada, but to foreign governments who wish us harm. And what has been the Liberal response so far? They won't release the names. And now the Liberal member for Pickering-Uxbridge says, quote, boo-hoo, get over it. Instead of telling Canadians to just walk it off, why don't they release the names of MPs who are working against Canada? Yeah.
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, my friend from Regina Capel knows very well that no government is in a position to release sensitive information about particular pieces of intelligence. I have a suggestion for him. He sits a couple of seats away in this place. from his leader. If they were sincere in understanding some of the information underlying the public version of the report of the National Security Committee of Parliamentarians, his leader could avail himself of the offer that I'm happy to reiterate again today to get the security clearance, get all the information that the Committee on Parliamentarians had, and then he could come to a reasoned judgment in this place.
The honourable member from Regina Capel.
This isn't about offering secret briefings to MPs who have to keep all that information secret. It's about releasing the names so that Canadians can know which MPs are working against the interests of Canada. So I've got a very simple question. He should be able to answer this one. Do any of the MPs listed on this report of compromised members who are working against the interests of Canada, do any of those MPs currently sit in cabinet, yes or no?
Good question.
The honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, I'll give full points to my friend from Regina Capel to try and get me to do indirectly what he knows very well I can't do directly. Mr. Speaker, I'll remind our friend that our government is the first government to take this issue seriously. In the previous Conservative government, they did absolutely nothing to secure our democratic institutions, in spite of public warnings from CSIS for the last 2 years they were in government. I worked last summer with my friend from Regina Capel to set up the Hogg Commission, for example. We look forward to Justice Hogg's recommendations and would be happy to work with him in terms of implementing them.
Hear, hear. The honourable member from Regina Capel.
Mr. Speaker, they sat on warnings from our intelligence agencies so that they could protect their own partisan interests. And they have refused to hand over cabinet confidences to the Hogg Commission. But this one should actually be really simple. Cabinet ministers get to see everything. They get a say on everything the Government of Canada does, and they get to personally lobby the Prime Minister any day they want. Can the minister assure Canadians that nobody who sits around the cabinet table today is on this list of compromised MPs who are working against Canada?
The honourable Minister for Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, our friend from Regina Capel should know very well that our national security and intelligence agencies, including the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, take all of the issues of national security very seriously. And Mr. Speaker, our friend should know very well that our government has taken more than any other government steps to ensure that our democratic institutions are protected, and he should have confidence that we'll continue to do that work, something that his previous government did absolutely nothing about.
Nothing about.